The media are the people's eyes and ears. Hence, whoever controls the media controls what the people see and hear, and therefore what they know. There's an unhealthy attitude in modern society, which is one of blind trust in news media. The source of this trust is multiple. From mere naivety to indifference, from news media which were historically reliable to confirmation bias. From the moment where they can speak and understand the world around them, citizens of the Western world are trained to believe that what the news tell them about the world is true. Worse, they are trained to believe that doubting what is said on the news is tantamount to insanity. But why? What guarantee do we have that what is said on the news and written in the papers is truthful? Who controls the quality of the content? And who controls them? In the end, we hand the mantle of guide to a pleiad of individuals who are no more trustworthy than the common man. In fact, you should consider them even less trustworthy, for, as said, whoever controls the media controls what the people know, and therefore, people with vested interest in controlling the masses will definitely do all in their power to take control of the media. And as you can guess, these people cannot be trusted. But how do they even create a semblance of legitimacy? If they were always reporting on doubtful matter, people would catch on, right? Of course they would, and that is why a large portion of what you see on the news is actually the truth. What you have to understand is that they tell you the truth about things which are irrelevant in the grander scheme of things. They'll report on car accidents, on meaningless crimes, on sports, on celebrities, on the weather. Reporting the truth on these topics helps give an air of legitimacy to news organizations, and so people are less inclined to question them when these bullshit peddlers do have an incentive to lie, as in any time political matters are involved. And this is the issue when it comes to the masses. For some reason, it has become common belief that if a man tells the truth about one thing, he will not be lying about another. As if people either say the truth or lie all the time. The fallacy in this previous statement is obvious to all, yet it is still subconsciously held by the majority of people. Thus, the key from freeing the masses from the control of the corrupt media of our times is to remind them of this fallacy. Force them to question the news whenever it is questionable. Show evidence of when the news lied. Evidence of governmental interference with news reporting. And do it impartially. Remember that the fact of the media's unreliability remains the same regardless of who controls it. Making people question the reliability of the mainstream media simply to redirect them to just as questionable alternatives will not help our cause. Finally, one very important action people must begin taking to understand what is wrong with the media is to know who controls it. The ownership of all major media corporations is public knowledge and thus available to all. By finding who owns which corporations and determining what links them together, it becomes possible to understand which group controls the media and thus who is not trustworthy. It will allow you to know who is your enemy. To understand who wants to control what you see and hear. Who wants to control what you know. Who wants to control you. Does this mean all news media should be abolished? After all, they are apparently nothing more than a tool to manipulate the masses. The truth is that either different news media organizations should be independent of each other and of their nation's power structures altogether, or they should all be under the control of the government. Which one is preferable depends on the government form. In a democratic society, independent news organizations are preferable so as to allow the public to form their own opinion. In more autocratic governments, nationalized new media are preferable so as to keep the masses unified, though as explained before, a wise leader would do well to keep his populace well informed so as to keep his nation powerful. In the end, remember these facts: the media can be used to control your view of the world and therefore control you. It is necessary to determine who controls the media in order to fight back. And news media needs to be telling the truth to the people in order to keep them informed and thus to keep the nation informed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe.